health care program. Health care is not about health care. If it was, it would be eliminating tort reform totally. You would have no way to sue a doctor for trying to wait on patients. You have no way to sue a health care center that's trying to provide that health care. You want to get rid of the cost in health care. You open it up so people can buy all over the nation with different policies. And this whole thing is about power and votes. That's all it's about. England's got 1.4 million healthcare workers in a place as big as Louisiana. And in America, we'll have 25 to 30 million healthcare workers if Obama has his way. They'll vote for that progressive and liberal agenda.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. McNeil. Steve Sutherland, would you sign on as a co-sponsor to repeal the Obama health care bill and work diligently to accomplish the repeal? And what actions would you take if a repeal fails?
Absolutely, Doc. I have already signed a commitment that I would do everything within my power to repeal this bill. And as the others on this stage have said, that until the White House can be taken back in 2012, it must be defunded, clearly. And I also agree that this bill is not about your health care, because I don't think that, quite honestly, that this administration could care less about your health care. Just like I don't think that they give anything about you and regarding your...
Good job.
I don't think they care whether your energy costs go up through cap and trade. It is a total disregard for your well-being. This bill has to be done away with, and so therefore I believe market solutions are the answer to this problem. And I'm sorry. Thank you for the applause.
All right, thank you, Steve Sutherland. Barbara Olsner, would you sign on as a co-sponsor to repeal the Obama health care bill and work diligently to accomplish the repeal? And what actions would you take if a repeal fails?
Well, yes, I absolutely would, but as we've seen, I'd probably be way down the line of the number of people, the new Republicans who get to Congress who want to sign on to the repeal of this bill, that I might not make it. I'd be so far down the line. But yes, I would absolutely vote to repeal it. I think you have to work to defund the bill as best you can. But the issue that I think has the biggest promise on this is the fact that Congress has taken upon themselves, despite the fact that people did not want this bill, despite the fact that this was a bill we could not afford, despite the fact that this was a bill that we didn't know how much it would cost, and now we know it's in the trillions, that it would not contain rising health care, and that guy who represents us now said that it was deficit neutral, and it is not. What this bill has is Congress did not have the constitutional authority to pass a bill that they passed solely for perceived political gain. I believe it will backfire.
Thank you very much, Ms. Olsner. Okay, new question, and we'll start off with Eddie Hendry. Because Arizona passed a controversial immigration law recently, illegal immigration has been on a lot of people's minds. Do you support the Arizona law, and what do you think the United States should do as a nation about illegal immigration?
Well, one of the biggest powers the federal government has is control on immigration. Arizona shouldn't have had to do this at all. I agree with what they're doing. They're taking the bull by the horns while our federal government is sitting on their hiney, so to speak, and not doing anything. The first thing we need to do is secure the border. We still haven't done that yet. Let's get that border secure. Put up a fence. Know who's coming into our country. The second thing we've got to do is we've got to make sure that the people that are already here illegally, that we can find out who they are, worst case to deport them or put them on some kind of card so we know where they're at. The thing about illegal immigration, it is not a law enforcement issue. It is a national security issue. And that's what our representatives need to understand, and that's what I understand.
Thank you very much, Eddie Hendry. Appreciate that. Ron McNeil, do you support the Arizona illegal immigration law? And what do you think the United States should do as a nation about illegal immigration?
Yes, I do support the law. You've got to be able to control the borders. This is stupid. And the thing is, too, you're not fixing to get rid of 15 million Mexicans. I don't know how you do it. I mean, my Lord, they come through there like rabbits through a crack patch. But the thing is, you've got to have some way that if you don't let them stay here and work, they got to prove that they've got a home to live in and they got a job. And if you could issue them a card and maybe charge them a few $100s a year to get to be a card-carrying worker, not a citizen, and not amnesty, if you're going to do something like that, you make it work something out. But you're not going to get rid of them, I can tell you that right now. And this administration is certainly not fixing to send anybody back. Now, they're trying to get 15 million more liberal and progressive voters out of this bunch. And we got to get rid of them. They cannot become citizens.
All right, thank you, Mr. McNeil. Steve Sutherland, do you support the Arizona law, and what do you think the United States should do as a nation about illegal immigration?
I do think that this law that Arizona passed was only done so because the federal government has abdicated its responsibility that is given to it in the Constitution. And every state should have the right to protect its citizens, period. I do think that we are first and foremost a nation of laws. And I believe that we have to enforce those laws. And I will tell you that the penalty for businesses to hiring illegals should be steep. And if you ended that, then people that were here illegally will then seek legal ways to be here. So I believe with all my heart that I also would start in the Department of Corrections. I would load every illegal up, and they make 30% of those in our corrections facility. I would load them up, put them on a hot barge with no air, and I would float them home to where they came.
All right, Barbara Olshner, do you support the Arizona illegal immigration law, and what do you think the U.S. should do as a nation about illegal immigration?
Well, by support it, I have to say that I certainly applaud and support Governor Brewer in doing what she did to get the government's attention. Unlike our Attorney General, I have actually read the law. I will say that's what lawyers do for a living, and I didn't have a staff brief me. And it only took about 10 or 15 minutes. Here's the problem. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution enumerates the powers that Congress has. If Congress doesn't have powers in those enumerated powers under Article 1, Section 8, they do not have them. They have the power to regulate naturalization. I don't blame Arizona for doing what they did. It's a desperate cry for help. The federal government has failed horribly to do their job. There is a bill on the books since 1986 where we granted amnesty. We said we would control the borders and we would have an employer verification process, and we have not enforced those laws on the border. Those laws. We must first have a border control. We must do more later. I'll talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Olshner. Appreciate that. All right, last but not least, Dave Scholl, do you support the Arizona illegal immigration law, and what do you think the U.S. should do as a nation about illegal immigration?
Absolutely support what Governor Brewer is doing. Having flown F-15s at Luke Air Force Base and down at Yuma Marine Corps Air Station, I've witnessed firsthand the problems that Arizona is facing with 500,000 illegal immigrants coming into their state. We definitely need to finish the fence. We started it, we're a third done. Finish the remaining 2/3. Niceville Fence Company could knock this out in a week's time, I guarantee you. In addition to that, though, let's increase Border Patrol guards. If they need them, get them down there. Let's improve our UAV surveillance. If we need infrared technology on the border, let's get that up and running. There are solutions to this, but this government's not about solutions. It's about securing their power. We saw it with healthcare. Now it's about getting votes from the new immigrants that are coming in. And by no means should we grant these individuals amnesty. We could work with the employers that are hiring them to make sure that they are hiring only U.S. citizens. And then why don't we come up with a solution? If the agriculture industry needs temporary workers, we can fix that quite easily. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Scholl. Appreciate that. For our next question, we'll start with Ron McNeil. Mr. McNeil, in 1973, the United States Supreme Court rendered the Roe versus Wade decision overturning the abortion laws of all 50 states. Would you like to see Roe versus Wade itself overturned?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I guess this thing's working. What a diabolical deal we've done, you know. The Arabs and all hate us, and we're over there killing, and we should protect our borders in every way possible. And here we are, supposedly a Christian nation, and we've already have a section in my book called "No, You Are Not in the 50 Million." We've already killed off over 50 million unborn children. I'll never return it in a heartbeat. I'll never vote for one single solitary dollar to fund the abortion of a child. Heartbeat starts at 18 days.